Welcome back to the show. Now we have chosen to throw standard error and our demand index up on the screen. And we've got some things referring to options as well. Now we can probably get rid of those. That's not very important. Importando. Yes, let's see. So you can see our standard error channel here. And you can see our bands look a lot like Bollinger Bands. And then these circles you hear, that's a Fibonacci spiral that has been plotted here on the VXX. All right. And we can see that it does stay relevant in some ways. All right. And it looks like maybe we can get rid of our demand index also for right now. But we look for when we start to see a demand above 50% or more. And we can see right here, it could be a big run-up. This could be a thing. All right. VIX might be hitting a low. And rail here. Looks like we're in a lower channel here too. That's good. So if we were to look for a bullish signal, let's go through and see what are we really looking for. Well, in our demand index catches it way back here. We should have gotten in somewhere around here at the low and stayed in until the high. Well, you would have gotten out and, fought your way through these dips here. All right, so this is kind of sideways trading. We'll see what this is going to do. But we expect it to continue to go up as it is. Okay. But this is our demand index on our lower strategy. And we'll play peekaboo. Peekaboo. All right. And we'll get rid of that. Let's pull out our standard error. I wonder if I have it here. Standard. And looks like you've got your standard deviation channel and standard deviation. So there are many standard indicators here. Okay. Looks like our standard error and our standard deviation can be used somewhat together. Now these standard error, and it looks like our standard deviations. Okay. You also might consider Bollinger Bands and the TTM LRC. But if you would prefer a set of indicators that were all built by the same person, or with similar ideas in mind, I think the standard set's probably going to do it for you. Okay, let's get rid of our standard deviation channels. And we'll go look for our standard error scan. Come hither. All right, and at the very top of that, G, M, E, C, O, L, A, R, C, and ARC-T. All right, ARC-T looks a little better than AMC right now. AMC looks topped out and, slowly rising, but it's probably going to come up, hit this, get rejected, squeeze, and then look for another little pop here. But really, I'm looking for it to get pushed down. Okay. Beam. Looks like GoCo. Okay. Now let's take a look at some of the ones that I've picked out for just to look at for this week. So we'll look at AATC. Now that on the hour, look at that. They're trying to take a big move up so they can move that price. Let's pull that out to the daily here. We can see that we are in our lower channel, but we're pulling back here onto a dividend. So crash into the dividend and wait for the bottom. Okay. Would be no one's recommendation. AAPT. I'm the All-American Pet Company. It's a bit overextended here, on the weekly, losing some of its momentum there. On the 4-hour, see, these are not necessarily agreeing with each other. Okay. Yeah, I would wait for this one to hit its low there. ACGL on the Kapok Weekly. Very good. And we have AMH, which looks like it's going for a dip buy here. So that looks good. American Homes for Rent Com. That's probably on a bit of a dipper. All right. Let's check out the IMAX Theater. Oh, look at the dipper on that one. Very good. It's dipping below the channel, so this might even be represented as an S3 zone. Support and resistance will each have roughly 3 zones based on a standard error or channel or even a deviation. And you can have more zones than that, but they typically track about 3. Okay. And Hudson was a last week's stock. We don't need to go back to that one. D-Nut. Oh, yes, the Krispy Kremes. Okay, let's see how this turns out. But I think we're going to come down into this earnings here, and then they're going to find out that people are still buying donuts. They'll give us a little discount, and then we'll be able to go on up. All right. Let's look at, what's this, BVN? BVN? Okay, I mean, it is at a kind of a low, a turning point. Yeah. Watch this for a continued low. Spoke on the Rock Bottom Weekly. And you got Grub and Doyu. So let's pull out the Doyu again. It's still on its crash. Looks like it wants to come back up, though. All right. And, of course, time and price opportunity tell us that it's being shorted in a big, big way. But it certainly does have some high expectations out there. All right, HYFM, looks like GDD, Body, B Squared, FCell, Go EV, DBGI, and then we go down to GBox, BEKE, HNST, FT, UGP, Telluride, Any Ride, NLY, NNDM, looks like Triple CS, and Rocket. So Triple C, S, which is CCC Intelligent Solutions Holding Com. Is that going to be a .com or a company? I don't know. I did making a YouTube video. Okay. Chandelo Aero. Co-diagnostics. Okay. But yes, we do look for this standard error. and the particular 0.95 signal. Looks like G-Box is back on our list here today. Let's see what else. Got U's on our list here, and this one is going to shoot up. It's hitting the bottom of the channel now, and they have been meaning to run it. Up above, market maker, push below, up above, smack the top, little fake out, smack the top, fake out, smack the top. Now it's been rejected all the way back down, and it looks like it has some huge waves that it's going to try and work with here. If you look at these waves, they are massive. I mean, they go right up, but you can't let the stock move that quickly. Okay. Looks like B squared is on our list here. On our standard error list. Looks like go ED. We also need go EV. Okay, this doesn't look as great. This really looks like it's going to come back down. It's in its upper channel. All right. Now, HNST. Oh, look at that reaching down there. That's cool. Looks like the Honest Co. wants to give a bit of a discount. Sono on the four-way Arun. Alright, this one's coming back down. It's probably about ready for a move. Looks like it's finally settling in after this big move here. It has to calm down. Baizi's back up here. See, many of these last weekers are up here now. They're just going to continue to fall off. So I think that's probably what we're looking at here today. If we're going to see a move in anything, it'll probably be tomorrow. Okay, so let's see if we can get this standard error. Create watch list. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Let's see if that will let me have it. No? Yeah, there's been something a little weird going on with the watch lists and whatnot. It seems like the updates and the changes and all of that. Okay, let's see what we get here on our Wonder Scan for our 1 hour. And this is just going to be stacked moving averages. It doesn't really mean anything. We're just looking for moving averages and whatnot to line up. And here we are with a few examples. Looks like DAR is on the rise. And we can see that with our move above our demand index and our standard deviation and our standard error starting to move. Looks like we've got OMEX, Odyssey Marine Exploration. Nice little pop with that. SMHI, Secor Marine Holdings. Okay. What's AMR? Alpha Metallurgical Resources? Metallurgical? Okay. Did I say that right? Let me know down in the comments. Sometimes I don't speak no good. But we can see that our demand index and our standard deviations and standard errors, they do catch them very good, very, very good. So, and when we see that greater than 0.95, that is somewhere around this area here, okay? And that's when we start to see these big moves up, okay? Very good. Let's check out this last one here, which is Wiley, John and Sons Incorporated. I don't know what that business is. But it does look like that it did respect this standard error channel here. So for it to trade sideways, hit the bottom, bounce to the top, ride the top channel, get rejected, down to the center, give a discount just below, keep on trending up, hit the top of the channel, get rejected to the bottom of the channel, pop to the middle, rejected again. Now it looks like we're probably going to ride sideways and do a little bit more distribution and or accumulation. So, and that will get into our very next Buy Z, Playboy, Rocket, and Sava, all added to the rock bottom weekly list. Those are going to be some watchers. Okay. All right, and our standard deviation, 14 close. So if we see a standard deviation greater than 1, we may even be able to use that to our advantage also. And it's pretty safe to say that when we see something travel to one of these higher levels or lower levels, that it is not going to stay there very long. I just saw the test stock. Where was it? CZZVT or something. Maybe I didn't see it. All right. So do we trust this? I mean, the volume's big compared to what it was. And this big giant volume here, 21 millions. Who's buying all this up? This Travere Therapeutics, TVTX. And let's see. It looks like they're going for legitimate zones there. But what would I know? Nothing. All right. Let's see, we've got one here, one here, one here, one here. Let's see, I bet we're going to trade sideways here a little bit before we crash through. It might crash on down. Zev. Lightning E-Motors. Pretty sure Zev has already had its fun. Zev was a big one last week. And what is quadruple S? SuroCapitalCore.com. Money, 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 money. Suro. What is a Suro? Capital Core Com new or company new? I don't know. We'll have to look that up. Okay. Very neat, though. We see our low here. Break above our, middle error channel. Hit the top. Push below our midline. Back above our midline, below. Looks like it kind of trades with this midline a lot. So we'll have to continue to watch that. I do see this channel and the standard error bands being useful. So you might even consider building, throw all this stuff together and then save it as your studies, a steady set. So we'll call that our standard error setups. And then once you play with that and find signals you like and things that work, take some notes, write some things down. ZEV warrants, those might be worth something. Hoo-hoo. Is that what they are? Yeah, they are. Let's see, how old is this? Yeah, it's not very old. All right. That'll actually be a really good deal here, because the warrant itself should be able to be cashed out for a monetary value no less than, I think, $10. But don't quote me, but yeah, the warrant you may actually be buying right now under $10 holds a greater value, but when you buy it and it's greater than $10, yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff that does with warrants, so I'm not even going to really go into that right now. But you got to be careful messing with your warrants. But right now, this ZEV, it might have a good warrant to stock ratio situation. Let's say we buy these warrants now that say we have the right to purchase the stock, at $10 in the future, even though it's $1 something's now. When that stock starts to go up in price, it may go up to 20 or 30 or 50, and then we can execute our warrants, and that will give us your stock, at the aforementioned, $10 price, even though the price might be well above that. But you, in turn, well ahead of time, agreed to buy them, or have a contract, kind of like an option, it almost seems, huh? So it looks like a warrant is kind of like a first way step into options, maybe. Let's not compare them that closely, but yeah, we'll have to go on and see what the ZEV warrants are actually worth. I don't really like the way this looks. The intersect ENT, it looks like it's going to get pushed back down. But maybe not. Let's see this little check rejection here. This might be the solid all the way across. So here we're going to catch this, and boom, we're going to go ahead and rip. And it kind of looks like it wants to, doesn't it? So we might have already had the rip. If not, then we have a little bit more to go. But as you can see here on this particular charting using standard error, just run a little chart right through there, match up your points on these to here, and it should get you real close, to where that line should be. And that line kind of plots here in the center. So we can see that there's a big divergence going on right now between a few of our indicators, and that's a problem. All right. But we've reached for the sky. It broke out there, so looks like our standard deviations are coming back down. That was a pretty big move. All right, settling back in. So we might even be able to use our standard deviation itself, kind of like an ADX. Simon PPTY Group Acquisition Holdings. Looks like a pet Q. Alright, big discount there. Big drop below the channel, but big standard deviation. So this might even be considered one of those drops into the S3 zone that I talk about. Okay. And if you wanted to know that, go put up your pivot points and look on Webull, and you will see it's probably in an S3 zone. So it probably won't stay there long. So we can almost say with near certainty that this is a possible overreaction and that this might continue to trade sideways until it finally gets above that upper channel. Or shall we say this lower channel now? And that is providing the resistance. And we can see that we have our standard error bands. That will also give us some ideas of support and resistance on the short term, not the long term. Okay, so we can use a standard error channel for the long term support and resistance, and maybe even the mean. And we can use these bands as our short term, possibly even the middle line, somewhere representing something around 20 to 21 SMA or EMA. Okay. And that would be the Bollinger Band midline. It's pretty close. So we'll pop in over there, and we get Rocket, Bizy, Playboy, and Sava. Boom, bottom. Boom, high. Bizy, Playboy, boom, bottom. And Sava, boom, high. All right, so this is probably a push down. Yeah. You shall not pass. All right. And these four we called out earlier on another one of our lists. So I think we'll cut it off there. Everybody have a great day. Get out there and make some money. Happy trading, and I will catch you tomorrow. You know, feel free to talk to me down below. Make some suggestions. You know, always looking for new video ideas. And I don't mind talking to people, even though people clearly don't like talking to me. I don't know what I did to them, but anyway. What's fun is fun. All right. And now we have some things going off on the Kapok list. Well, we'll save that for a later video. Thanks for watching.